General Assembly, as I'm sure you well know, passed a pension change plan for the city of Chicago dealing with municipal and laborers fund. That affects your constituents, presumably, if the city council agrees to increase the property taxes as the mayor has proposed. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, the first thing that has to happen is the governor has to sign it, and my understanding from reading the papers this morning is that he said he's going to do a thorough review, read all the fine print, and take the 60 days he's allowed to decide on whether to sign it. So until such time as he signs it, it's not law. But we hope to be in Springfield at the end of this month with a proposal of our own for our pension funds and for the Forest Preserve District. And we're hopeful of Senate and House approval as well.
What's the gap in your pension funding?
What's the gap in our pension funding?
58%.
Oh, I'm sorry, 58? I thought it was 53.6. 2012 is 53.6, so it's 54%, I think. Is that right? Help me out, Karen. I should just look at my own notes, huh? Okay.
53.6 in 2012.
Yeah, 54%, okay.
So what would that entitle, what would that mean in terms of what you'd be looking for in terms of pension reform from Springfield?
Well, our pension reform plan is under consideration by our unions. And there are 4 that are critical. Well, actually, there are 5. Teamsters are our largest union. Then AFSCME, SEIU, the trades, and there's a relatively small nurses union as well.
Have they been receptive?
We briefed them on Monday and Tuesday. The responses were some were positive. I think more were toward the neutral end, but we'll see what happens. We've got basically 2 weeks to put together our plan and get it down to Springfield, so to have a reasonable chance of passing it in this session. That's what our hope is. You know, we're in the same position in the city in that if we don't get action on our pension problems, we're looking at downgrades by the rating agencies. And needless to say, we don't want that to happen. We've escaped the draconian downgrades that the city has suffered, but we were downgraded last summer, and we've been told by the rating agencies if we don't get some pension reform done this session, we'll be facing additional downgrades.
So is your plan combining a combination of lowered benefits and more revenue?
Yes.
Where would the revenue come from?
Well, we're looking at all the options. Everything's on the table, and and let me just say again, you know, we've been fairly creative over the last 4 years in finding revenue sources and in looking at ways in which we can run the government more efficiently, and we've done that, keeping our commitment to eliminate the rest of the sales tax, which is a pretty significant hit to us. I can't remember what's the total. Well, where's Karen? Well, Karen will have to get back to you on what the revenue lost is from eliminating the 1% sales tax every year.
Would you rule out a tax increase at this point, or is that still in
You know, we're looking at all our options.
Do you think that raising property taxes would be a fair measure of approaching that when compared to, say, for in the past there's a higher sales tax?
We're looking at all our options. But as I said, you know, we've managed to handle very difficult budget challenges by proposing only modest increases in revenue. So